And welcome back to America Right Now. There's an effort to build a new memorial on the National Mall that you might not have heard about. In 2017, President Trump signed an authorization for the establishment of a memorial to all those who served in the global war on terrorism. Last month, new legislation to select the actual location of the memorial was introduced in Congress. Michael Rod Rodriguez is a retired Special Forces Green Beret with 9 deployments under his belt, including Somalia and Afghanistan. After 21 years of continuous service, he was medically retired for numerous injuries that he received while in the service to our great nation. He now serves as President Emeritus of the Global War on Terrorism Memorial Foundation, and he joins us now to discuss the effort. Michael, good to see you again.
Hey, thank you for having me. Really a pleasure.
And thank you for your service to the country. And in many respects, you are still serving, given the work that you're doing on the memorial. You know, after President Bush left office, there was an effort to eliminate the term war on terrorism or global war on terrorism from the public discourse. Federal officials were even counseled not to use it. Media certainly did its job discrediting the global war on terror. I wrote a book about it a few years ago. How did that make you feel? And did that help kind of spur this effort on in some way?
Well, in reality, you know, whatever you call it, global war on terrorism, overseas contingency operations, I mean, there's an Operation Udon, whatever you're calling it, it's kind of irrelevant to those that serve. You know, right. we raise our right hand to serve this nation to the best of our abilities, and doesn't matter what we call it. However, you know, that's still what our awards are called. And until that change happens, that's what it's called, and we'll continue to call it such.
So, Take us back to the beginning. What was the genesis of this idea?
Well, just basically a group of like-minded veterans, families, and service members came together and realized the need to step forward. You know, we were was founded in 2015, and we're at 14 years in the conflict, and we realized that, you know, if someone doesn't do something now, because this is a very long, arduous process, those that serve may never get the opportunity to see their memorial. Like both my father's grandfathers served during World War II, and unfortunately never had the opportunity to see their war memorial. So we wanted to get ahead of that, because there's really no forecasted end in sight, but we still have to recognize the brave women and men that step forward and serve this nation.
I should mention that former President George W. Bush is the honorary chairman of the Memorial Foundation. And one of the things that's so different about this effort, and I'm particularly excited about this, I served in Iraq as a civilian, and you've gone out of your way to make this a much more inclusive memorial. You know, to honor people, whatever their capacity, who contributed to the global war on terrorism. Why was that important, particularly in the case of the war on terror?
Well, it's easier for me to describe from personal experience. So during my last deployment, you know, I came across several different contractors in various capacities serving. I also had a couple of FBI guys and some DEA guys attached to the ODA that I worked on. That I was assigned to. So I realized that, you know, not just those that wear the uniform are serving in this war. You know, if you look at interesting statistic, if you look at Desert Storm, the ratio of, let's just call them non-uniformed service members on the battlefield to uniformed service members was 50-1. That means 50 uniformed service members for every one non-uniformed service member. Today, that number is 1-1. So whether you wear the uniform or not, you're still placing your life in harm's way in many, many cases. And you're still securing national security interests, and it's important that we recognize this cohesive, amazing team that we do have.
All right, and just real quickly, we're going to be following this as your progress continues here, but the memorial is going to be built with private funds. What are the next steps?
Yes, so currently we're hoping to get this legislation passed. H.R. 1115 was introduced recently, and this coming week we have an accompanying bill introduced in the Senate with Senators Ernst and Hassan. We're looking and hoping for a swift passage and signing by President Biden. So then we'll move on to the next steps would be design and then actually selection of the site of the 3 that we proposed. And like you stated, you know, this is completely privately funded. We're not asking for any taxpayer money. We believe your American patriot will step forward and support this effort. So, you know, I urge everyone to check us out on our website and various social media platforms, support us and see what you can do, whether it's through your time, talent, or treasure.
Well, there are so many humble heroes all across America who really do need to be honored and recognized, and future generations need to understand the cost of freedom. And you are helping to make that happen with your team. Michael Rodriguez, President Emeritus of the Global War on Terrorism Memorial Foundation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Have a blessed weekend.
Coming up, Senator Joe Lieberman on